So in nature, I don't know, man. It's definitely a brutal existence, but that's kind of how that's the algorithm. That's how it works,
Hmm.
right? That's how the world developed in that way. So in some sense, nobody can really blame anybody for some of these kind of way of life or way of things are being done. It's only because the environment kind of breds them into that way of thinking and way of life. And this reminds me of again from how they artistically did this from Dune, the movie. They make the Harkonnens the way that they did, and they even created their world and represented it visually like very
Very
nicely.
brutal.
Yeah, because the reason why it was black and white is
Hmm.
because they film everything with infrared. The story is their sun uh, that their planet surround
Revolves
the
around, yeah.
revolves around. It's a kind of a brown dwarf or whatever. Like it's very not energetic, right? They're
Hmm.
like a dying star essentially. So their heat are mostly infrared. So they're not even visible or not that much visible. Like so
Hmm.
basically it's like seeing through an infrared camera. So
Right.
that's why during the scene outdoors there is the sun, right? But everything turns to black and white as if you would see through infrared cameras. So
Yeah.
that's how they set up that idea for their world, is that they are a black and white society because their
Hmm.
sun looks that way. It's very weak light, so they form a way to adapt to their surroundings, right? And they, industrialize the whole planet. They essentially are kind of artificial in that way
Hmm.
because they don't have the support from the sun. The sun is too weak to give them sustenance, more or less. So they had
Right.
to find ways to, industrialize the planet to kind of make everything chemical and whatever to support their bodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? So again, that's the artistically way to do that. But the idea, I think, even from the book itself, is what you are the
When
world
your
that you live
environment,
in.
yeah,
Right.
the
So the
environment
Fremen,
that breeds you.
in the same way, the Fremen developed the way they did because of the planet
Yeah.
on the planet that they live on. That's the you need to do that. You need to conserve your waters and all that,
True.
right?
So your environment literally defines you.
Defines you. So this is what Frank Herbert was trying to write about. Part of the main theme is like, yeah, this is kind of from an ecological standpoint, how everything um, is revolved around. It's like, yeah, it all makes sense because you will develop any creature develop in an ecosystem. You adapt to that ecosystem, right?
Yes.
So humans are not, we're not exempt. We're not the exception. We're the same way. That's why,
Yeah, it's almost like these are the parameters by which you can even exist.
yeah, which is why in the modern society we have all these social problems. Sometimes it can come through because we urbanize so much. We
Hmm.
change our relationship to other people, right? That's why more agrarian way of life seems more peaceful because people know each other. They seem more friendly. They can talk to each other, communicate, and trust each other more than they do in the cities because everybody's a stranger. And we're not, nobody are exempt from this. Anybody who live in a city, everybody else is a threat, right? A potential threat because you don't know them. You don't know them like Uncle Joe, from the next door, or what have you. So
Right.
that would be the problem. So nobody can develop any other way. It's just gonna be that way because this is how you set everything up.